So today's question comes from Julie P. And Julie asks, can you please go deeper into victim mentality?
Ooh, okay. I can, because I lived it for so long. Absolutely. So, I mean, so victim mentality, I mean, you textbook it. I mean, it's actually considered a psychological state. Okay. It's victim, it's, considered victim mindset, of course. And then also it's termed as victimhood. And, it's when a person who's been through something traumatic or has been victimized some way, that there's a constant negative um, perception they have of what that is, where it comes from, and it's usually attached to it being external factors. So, and usually, majority of the time, it's individuals. Again, it's childhood trauma is usually plays a big part in people carrying that victim mentality and bringing it into adulthood. I did that. That was me. I did it for a long time, and so I get it, and I know how to work it, and I know how to manipulate it, and I know how to do all these things. It was quickly effective. Sometimes it could get you out of a situation for a minute, or fade the heat somehow, or knock somebody off balance a little bit that was confronting you about something. There were some quick advantages to it, but it never panned out and does anything any. It does no good with any way that you deal with any situation in your life. Zero. And it never will. And nobody will ever be able to come to me at any time and say, let me tell you about how great my life has worked out, blaming everybody else for everything, or whatever the circumstances were. So it's a very ineffective way to operate. That's why I talk about it a lot. And that was a lot of what ailed me. I was actually a very high functioning victim. And we can talk about that at a different time. But, you know, this is where a piece of the self-care savage work that you have to get in and doing this is really hard to unwind. Having developed a victim mentality, relied upon that, that's the word. You become very reliant on it, and it's hard to break that because it's comfort. Is always the go-to when things do go wrong, or um, something doesn't work out, or it's easy just to, when that stressor happens, to go right where you were. It's easier on you. Takes any deflection off of you. All of those things that don't work. Again, short-term things. They're very short-term, but people catch on. Circumstances catch up, and it doesn't play for very long. It plays. It will play for until about halftime, and then at halftime everybody starts going, "Wait, they keep saying that, or it just keeps happening, and it never changes." And all those things are going to start getting figured out by them at halftime, and then they're going to come out in the third quarter, and it's not going to work anymore. And so again, I can't drive home enough of taking full responsibility for yourself. You're an adult, and I'm 99% of the people who are listening to this are adults. You can't use that excuse anymore. It doesn't matter how much it damaged you. It really doesn't matter what it was, or And when I say that, it doesn't mean whatever could have brought you to that state, that it's not valid, and it was very harmful and dangerous, and just evil. And I mean, it doesn't mean all those things did not happen. But you have to reconcile that it did. And you have to take the steps to move away from it. Otherwise, you have let that event or events or time period or that one time instance now drives your life. Every decision you make, every time you react to something somebody says, or you act upon something uh, uh, that you need to do or should be done, or what doesn't matter. Most of the time, you're going to act with that victim mentality, with that victimhood, that blaming, that whatever it is, and it's not real. It's not taking accountability. It's fading it. It just I can go on and on and on. Um, there's no self worth in it. There's zero self worth in it. There's no self esteem in it. And if you're a parent, or if you are in a relationship, or you do manage people, or you are a community leader, or an elected official, or a spiritual leader, whatever is going on, and you have people that are looking to you and how to handle situations in life, and this is how you handle them, you are leading very poorly and leading people the wrong way and down the wrong path, because everything you're doing in that victim mentality, there's no value to it for anybody. The value to it is to another victim that might look at it and go, or someone else's victim mentality might look at it and go, oh my gosh, is that what I'm doing? Or, they can see how it doesn't work with another person that has that same thought processes. So, but that's going to be very few. And so that's going deeper into it. And again, working on it you got to go really hard on yourself. You've got to get into the journaling. You've got to start connecting these dots when you start thinking, when something does get stressful, is again being able to connect those dots, having those questions to ask yourself, at that time. Not only writing down in that journal, oh my gosh, I'm having this feeling, I'm feeling like I want to lie, or I want to not go to this event now, or whatever it could be. You need to find out exactly where that's coming from. So who did you talk to? Where are you at? What did you eat? What's the weather? There's going to be those circumstances in there that are eventually going to lead you to be able, as it keeps happening, you keep documenting, you're going to find the pieces. This is, and most people with a victim mentality are usually people who have been traumatized, and things like that. So a lot of times you already know a lot about where it comes from. So you have to get back in there to explore it a little bit. And with a victim mentality, when you're dealing with trauma, I'm always going to point to looking at that therapy as helping you jumpstart this, is finding, helping you connect those dots, and then helping you find and solutions or technique, giving you techniques or ways to help you develop a plan when those things do happen and go forward, so you can move away from that. And we talk about cognitive behavioral therapy all the time, or at least I do, because that's what I really believe in and familiar with. But there's all kinds of therapy out there, and that also, every time now I talk about this, it's very important. So again, we're hooked up with. You can hear that my talk and ad in these podcasts are with BetterHelp. So look, there's a link in the description here. You don't have to go see anybody anymore. You can do this stuff online. You can text. You can, again, I'm not going to go through it and sell you on this, but there's no excuses not to engage in therapy. And BetterHelp's just an avenue to do that. That's why we've hooked up with them. So it makes it easy for you. But it's, again, you already know. And anybody that follows me and listens, I talk about this all the time because it's what I did and it's what I was, and it was a lot of my dysfunction by not healing and forgiving and doing those things to be better and move forward. Again, all stemming from giving up on myself in my just north of 50 and, carrying all that yucky stuff into adulthood and operating that way. It was never, again, short-term successes all over the place, but never was able to get to these goals or these finish something or do that. It was a lot of self-sabotage. All that's all part of it. And if you want to be better for whoever does look to you for guidance, and most people has somebody. There's somebody looking at you somewhere. You may not even know it, but especially parents, again, any kind of leaders, any kind of bodies in any kind of position, you got people looking at you. And I'm pretty sure you either accepted that role, even as a parent. I'm not trying to pick on parents, but they're easy. You've made it easy. You say that you'll take a bullet for your kid, or you'll lay on the, you'll jump in front of a train for them and those kind of things. Well, that's just that. That's, I confront anybody that I ever hear that comes out of their mouth. I was the same way, and I would have jumped in front of a train for my kid. But what you won't do is you won't do the work now to be a better person, so you can be a better parent, a better leader, again, whatever position you're in. This is victim mentality. You got to go out and attack hard. Self-care established stuff. You've got to take accountability. You've got to get in a grateful state and bring things to now. So many of these things need to happen. So hopefully that answers your question. It was a great question, and I think it filled up a great little podcast here, but I can't stress it enough. You don't want to have any part of it. So let's clean it up. We got guests coming up next time too. You're gonna love the next guest. She's an author. She's got some children's books tied into what we're doing. You're gonna love it. So, and also, if you have any questions about the victim mentality or about what we're doing on the show, or any other things to expand on this, there's a link in the notes too, and where you can send us an email. And again, you're welcome to communicate with me anywhere, and we'll try to catch them and get them on the podcast. But this is fixing to get amazing. We're making some changes. We've learned a lot, so y'all stay tuned. All right. See you later. Bye.